So on the 13th of April, 1986, I became a member of the Martin Baker Tie Club. Martin Baker makes the ejection seats for the F-14 Tomcat, and to be a member, you have to have a successful ejection. So what happened is it was the very beginning of workup. I was in VF-41, and the first thing we do is carrier qualifications, and that involves some briefs. We talk about emergency procedures. We show the crash and burn flicks about what's happened to other people in the past. A lot of people usually go, ooh, ah, some people start laughing and stuff like that. And we go over emergency procedures, lose an engine off the catapult, and the other one we discuss is if you don't have flying speed to get airborne, you got to make the decision to eject before the airplane leaves the flight deck, because once the Tomcat's tipped over about 5 degrees, you're out of the envelope. And what that means is, you'll get ejected out, but you won't get a parachute or a full chute, and you'll get essentially catapulted into the water by your rocket motor, and you'll probably break your neck. And so with that in mind, we were operating off the coast of Norfolk. Again, it was April, decent weather. And I did my day work. I got a couple, some traps and some touch and goes. Of course, a trap is with our hook down, and we catch one of the 4 arresting gear wires, ideally the 3-wire. And then my plan, man an airplane on the flight deck, take off, turn downwind. They'll hook us in about 4 miles, and we come in and land. So that's exactly what we did for our first night trap. Came down, flew a pretty good pass, caught the 2-wire, and actually got a decent tug on the wire when all of a sudden we lurched forward. And it's almost like going over a speed bump and then being on an icy road. And because we weren't stopping and we weren't decelerating anymore. So I thought I could stop the airplane because, like I said, we got a decent tug on the wire. So I jammed on the brakes, pulled the throttles back to idle, but I saw the deck edge lights coming up, which marked the end of the angle deck. That's about all you can see at night. And so I said, so in real time, it was, we lurched forward, 1 potato, 2 potato. I said, oh shit, eject, Hal, eject. And what we teach guys is on the second eject, that's when he pulls the handle. So he pulled the handle. And how the ejection sequence works on the F-14, first the canopy goes, and then the backseater goes, and he goes to the right. And about a half second after that, the front seater goes, and he goes to the left. So the deconflicts the ejection seats. Hal actually got about half a swing on his chute, hit the flight deck pretty hard. For me, again, my hands are on the stick and throttle, my feet are on the brakes, and I'm looking at the deck edge lights coming up. And the next thing I know, I get a bright orange flash, which was the rocket motor, my ejection seat firing, and then everything went dark. I couldn't see anything, I couldn't hear anything, I couldn't feel anything. It felt like I did a somersault in the air, and what I was told later by the physiologist is that was because, it's an instantaneous, 50 or 60 Gs, and so all the blood goes rushing out of your head. But then the chute opened up, and it's like the lights came on. And I looked over, and I actually saw the Tomcat. It was tipped over, but it was still on the flight deck. The nose wheel had actually got caught in the scupper, like a gutter at the end of the angle deck. And of course, my first reaction was, oh, doggone it, I forgot to turn off the external lights. Because that's what we're supposed to do when we land aboard the ship, is there's a little pinky switch on the end of the throttle. And we're supposed to shut off the external lights. So I thought that, 1 potato, 2 potato, hit the water. Now I heard a pop pop, and I attributed that to this new device we got called Seawars. It's a saltwater activated release system. What it's meant to do is release you from your parachute risers automatically, because in the past they've had people get knocked unconscious during ejections, and then the parachute drags them under and they drown. So my immediate concern after hearing the pop pop was, I was pretty close to the carrier. I was probably 30 feet away. And again, people have ejected close to the boat and got sucked under by the vortex of the propellers. Thankfully, that didn't happen. And so the carrier goes by, and eventually the helicopter came over. It was only about 5 minutes. At that point, I'm looking up. Of course, the helicopter is very loud. He's hovering right over top of me. They wheel us up. The helicopter goes back to the flight deck. Next morning, I went down to the helo ready room to thank them for fishing me out of the water. So I'm thanking them, and And they said, yeah, we were a little concerned because when we came over you, your chute was fully filled with water right underneath you. And we were worried about it potentially dragging you under. And I said, well, yeah, I felt it a little bit on my legs, but not too bad. And the rescue diver says, yeah, it's a good thing I released you from your chute when I did. And my jaw dropped, and I go, what do you mean you released me from my chute? It released automatically. And he goes, oh, no, sir. You were still attached to your parachute risers. So that was a big lesson learned, trust but verify. The pop I heard was actually the life preserver inflating. I had the first seaworth failure. So later on, I was talking to all kinds of people about that. But the bottom line is afterwards, for our seat mechanics, the tradition is you give them a case of beer. They got 2 cases of beer. Everyone on the heel, the tradition is they get a bottle of their favorite beverage. I hand-delivered that down to Jacksonville. But I'll tell you, after that, when we would prepare to go out to the carrier and we'd show the crash and burn flicks, you know, I quit laughing, because when it happens to you, it just gives you a different perspective about what could happen.
And see the entire film now streaming on Amazon and Tubi TV, or order the DVD online on our website, speedangelsproductions.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss new upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.